Libra, has anyone ever called you too sensitive, indecisive, someone who thinks so much that they end up doing nothing and you stayed quiet? Not because they were right, but because you had already seen who they were and figured it wasn't worth it. What did you do in that moment? That precise silence, that choice not to reveal what you knew, that is the gift. The Libra gift that your enemies most desire to possess, and that paralyzes them with fear when they realize you are operating with it in the same room as them. It's not friendliness, it's not charm, it's an intelligence that works like sonar, mapping everything, recording everything, calculating everything without making a sound. And by the end of this video, something you've always felt but never been able to name will finally take shape. You'll understand where this power comes from, why it scares so many people, and why you've spent so much time using it to balance other people's worlds while your own plate remained empty. There's something people do with Libra that's almost funny when you stop to think about it. They get close, spend some time there, realize there's a different kind of intelligence there, and then, instead of getting closer, they back away, not out of anger, more like discomfort, as if they'd touched something they didn't expect to find. And Libra sees this happening, sees the exact moment the other person backs down, notices the change in posture, the subtlety in the tone of voice, the smile that has become a millimeter more rigid. Libra registers all of this in real time and does nothing. Smiles, changes the subject, makes everything lighter. This is not weakness. This has never been weakness, but for years, perhaps decades, it has seemed to be. You grew up thinking that seeing too much was a problem, that feeling the tension beneath a seemingly calm conversation was an exaggeration on your part, that noticing when someone is testing you, even when everyone around seems oblivious, was anxiety, hypersensitivity, overthinking. Someone probably told you that at some point. Maybe you even came to believe it. But let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it before you answer. How many times have you entered a situation knowing exactly what was going to happen, and it did? How many times have you perceived someone's true intentions before they had the courage to reveal them? How many times have you carefully crafted a response, chosen your words with millimeter precision, and watched the outcome unfold exactly as you had silently calculated? This is not anxiety, it's a gift. And not just any gift, it's the gift your enemies most desire to possess and most fear confrontation. Most people understand Libra superficially. They see the elegance, the diplomacy, the difficulty in deciding between two options and think they already know what they're seeing. A gentle sign, pleasant, a little indecisive perhaps. Someone who avoids conflict, who prefers harmony, who yields when they should resist. This is a showcase. This is what Libra allows to be seen, what lies within, what operates beneath all that smoothness, is something else entirely. It's an intelligence that operates like sonar. It makes no noise, it doesn't announce itself, but it's mapping everything all the time with a precision most people can't even imagine. Imagine a chess master who takes longer than everyone else before making his move. The other players get impatient. They think he's having difficulty. They think he's hesitating. What they don't understand is that he's calculating 7 moves ahead, and that the move he's about to make already takes into account the 6 you'll make later. This is how Libra thinks. It's not indecision. It's the simultaneous processing of variables that most people don't even know exist. What seems like slowness is intelligence operating in parallel, weighing not only what's in front, but what's underneath, what came before and what will come after. And here's the part that starts to get uncomfortable. Because if Libra has all this capacity, this perception, this intelligence, this accurate reading of people and situations, why does it so often end up exhausted, underutilized, or in the role of taking care of everyone while no one takes care of it? Why does someone with so much inner power so often appear as a supporting character in their own life? The answer lies in a pattern that is both Libra's most beautiful and most dangerous trait. And that's where things get really interesting. Libra uses its perception to serve, to harmonize, to make environments more bearable, relationships more functional, conversations safer for everyone. It sees what the other person needs before the other person even knows they need it, and then it goes and delivers, without asking for anything in return, without even admitting to itself that it did so consciously. It's genuine generosity, and it's also a knife that only cuts outwards. It needs precision to see others, and applies zero of that precision to itself. It uses its gift to build balance around it while carrying an internal imbalance that silently grows. And then that moment arrives. You're in the middle of some situation. It could be a conflict, a work conversation, a relationship that's reached its breaking point, and suddenly you realize you knew from the beginning. You mapped everything out, calculated every move, saw exactly where it was going, and yet you stayed, you waited, you postponed, because all your perception was used to understand the other person and not to protect yourself. And so the question remains, if you see all of this, if you already knew, already perceived, already mapped it out, what was missing for you to use this gift to your own advantage? It was while searching for answers to this that I found this digital book, The Divine Path That Guides Your Zodiac Sign Towards a Life of Purpose. Isn't a guide on how to be more Libra. It's about how to stop using your greatest ability merely to balance other people's worlds and start directing it toward your own path, toward your choices, toward your clarity. It's about learning to turn the scales inward. Because you are now in the exact moment when that realization has arrived, still processing it, still experiencing that active discomfort of someone who has just seen something true about themselves. This is the right moment, not when the emotion passes, now. The link is in the first pinned comment, but be aware this content may be taken down. Click now and download your copy. Leave a comment. Have you ever had a situation where, deep down, you knew what was going to happen, but you stayed anyway? What made you stay? But let's talk about something else now. Let's talk about exactly why this power, this ability to see what others are hiding, makes certain people feel deeply uncomfortable around Libra. Because your enemies aren't angry at you. They're afraid. Think about what it means to live with someone who sees your weaknesses and never uses them against you publicly. It's almost worse than if they did, because then at least you would know what to expect. The discomfort of being seen, truly, in your most intimate layers by someone who chooses not to expose you is a tension that cannot be resolved. You remain indebted to someone who hasn't demanded anything in return. And that, for some people, is unbearable. Knowing a secret you'll never tell, that's how Libra exists for its enemies. It carries information, it carries perception, it carries the silent certainty of someone who understood the game long before everyone else and chose not to reveal its cards. And this leads to something curious. The people who try hardest to diminish Libra, who try hardest to label her as weak, as naive, as the one who can't make up her mind, are precisely the ones who most need to believe this. Because if they admitted that Libra sees what she sees, they would have to admit that they have been seen, and that is frightening in a way that few can articulate. So they prefer to construct a more comfortable narrative. They prefer to believe that Libra's gentleness is naivete, that restraint is passivity, that silence is emptiness. But you know that's not true. Everything you just heard, this recognition that what seemed like weakness was always your greatest strength, is exactly the kind of clarity that the book, The Divine Path That Guides Your Zodiac Sign to a Life of Purpose, delves into in a way that goes beyond astrology. It talks about how Libra can stop using their perception merely as a defense mechanism and start using it as a real instrument of personal power, in decisions, in relationships, in purpose. Because understanding that your enemies fear you is the first step Knowing how to use that consciously is the next. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey toward the clarity and genius you deserve. There's a pattern that appears in almost every Libra at some point in life. It's the pattern of restraint that confuses. You sensed something, an intention, a veiled lie, a situation being manipulated right in front of you, and you stayed quiet, not because you didn't know, because you knew too much, because when you perceive everything at once, the immediate response is rarely the right response. And you know this before anyone else in the room. So you keep it, you file it away, you wait for the right moment. And while you wait, the world around you interprets this silence as naivete, as passivity, as weakness, the encrypted file for which only you have the key. Everything is there, everything has been recorded, but those who don't have access, those who don't understand that Libra's silence is strategic, not empty, will always misinterpret it. And here's the cost of that. Libra carries a lot. It carries perceptions it has never verbalized. It carries understandings it has never shared. It carries the weight of knowing things that, if revealed, would change entire relationships, and it chose not to reveal them because it calculated that the cost would be too high. This calculation is sometimes right, sometimes it's wrong. But what's almost always right is the feeling that remains afterward. That you used all that intelligence to protect others from a truth they needed to hear, and you didn't use any of it to tell yourself the truths you needed to hear. But what happens when this restraint reaches its limit? What happens when Libra stops, truly, finally, using the gift as a shield and begins to use it as a direction? This turning point isn't noisy. There's no dramatic conflict, no explosive rupture. It's something more subtle and more powerful than that. It's the moment when you look at the scale, the one that spent your whole life balancing the weight of others, and realize there's an empty plate. Yours. And finally, he decides to put something in it. When Libra begins to direct its own perception inward, toward its choices, its limits, what it truly wants, and not just what others need, something changes. Not in the world around it, inside. A clarity that was already there, hidden beneath years of external use, begins to emerge. You stop asking yourself what will be best for everyone, and start asking yourself, what is true for me? And you discover that you have an accurate inner compass, one you've always had, but that you rarely consulted when it came to yourself. This moment, when Libra finally turns its gift inward, is what the book The Divine Path That Guides Your Zodiac Sign to a Life of Purpose calls activation. Not of an external superpower, of something that already exists within you, but has been channeled outward for so long that it feels new when it points inward. The book offers a concrete path so that this intelligence you have always used to balance the world of others can, once and for all, begin to balance your own. So that the compass finally points to you. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey toward the clarity and genius you deserve. And then we come to the last point, the most important one, what no one can steal from you. Because there are things that can be imitated. The elegance of Libra, for example, the way they enter a room, create an atmosphere, make any environment more beautiful, simply by their presence. This can be learned. It's difficult, but it's possible. Diplomacy can be trained, mediation can be taught, the ability to see multiple angles of a situation can be developed with effort and time. But what Libra possesses, this profound perception that operates at the precise intersection of sensitivity and intelligence, that reads not only what is being said, but what is being felt but not expressed, that maps invisible structures of power and relationships without needing conscious effort. This cannot be copied, it cannot be bought, it cannot be faked. It's a fingerprint, unique, present even when you're not actively using it, and entirely yours. Your enemies will continue trying to understand where this power comes from. They will continue attributing it to luck, manipulation, chance. Because the alternative, admitting that there is a depth within you that they never dared to cultivate in themselves, is too uncomfortable. And you can let them continue believing whatever they want. Because the beauty of this gift is precisely this. It doesn't need to be proven. It doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't need external validation to exist and to operate. He simply is, and always has been. You've made it this far, and that already says something about you. Because the viewer who stays until the end of content like this is exactly the one who is ready to take this recognition further. The book, The Divine Path That Guides Your Zodiac Sign to a Life of Purpose, was written for this specific moment, when understanding has arrived, but you still need a concrete path to transform all of this into real presence, into real choices, into the life that this Libra gift has always been capable of building. Don't let this moment pass. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey toward the clarity and genius you deserve. Libra possesses one of the rarest inner architectures that exist. A mind that feels and calculates at the same time. A heart that understands the pain of others without dissolving into it when it learns to protect itself. A perception that operates silently without needing a stage, without needing recognition, doing the most difficult work of all. Seeing what is really happening beneath everything that everyone pretends is happening. This is rare. This is valuable. This is, without exaggeration, the kind of intelligence that shapes the world when ultimately directed by the person who possesses it and not just by the people around them. So if someone ever called that a weakness, if someone used your perception to convince you that you saw too much, felt too much, thought too much, I want you to remember this simple phrase. They were afraid of what you would see in them, and they were right to be. This is Libra's gift, the most desired, the most feared, and entirely theirs.